I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have. But it is what it is, and I think that we are all benefiting from the effects that she's had on the game, and I just appreciate the way she shows it.
You know, it's a wild day in women's basketball when a Hall of Famer walks into someone's podcast and drops more truth than a finals post-game presser. Lisa Leslie didn't just defend Caitlin Clark recently, she delivered a masterclass in poise, perspective, and yes, humbling Angel Reese on her own show. Thousands were listening, and Reese had a front row seat to what can only be described as the most graceful clapback in podcast history.
Going into my season 2, what's some advice that you would give for me?
Season 2, I can't wait to work with you some more. The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period.
While the internet has been melting down over the Clark versus Reese saga, with fans turning it into a Marvel-level rivalry, Lisa Leslie showed up playing an entirely different game. She didn't pick a side, she elevated the conversation. One day she's praising Clark's impact on the league, the next she's offering Reese the kind of mentorship you don't get in practice. It wasn't about beef, it was about growth, and let's be honest, someone had to say it.
But she literally got called out for missing layups. I mean, on her own damn show.
Let's rewind a bit. For months now, it's felt like Caitlin Clark couldn't breathe without some WNBA vet throwing a passive-aggressive quote or side-eye her way. From jealousy-drenched tweets to full-on body checks on the court, it's been clear some people in the league were not rolling out the welcome mat. So when Lisa Leslie, one of the founding queens of the WNBA, stepped up and said, actually, Caitlin's doing everything right, that hit like a game winner at the buzzer.
You want to see more WNBA people saying this, and it's just so obvious.
This wasn't just another opinion from the peanut gallery. This was Lisa Leslie, the woman who practically built the WNBA's foundation, who dunked before it was trendy, and who knows exactly what it takes to carry a league. So when she says Caitlin Clark is the real deal, people listen.
You have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game.
And Lisa didn't just say Clark is good, she praised the how, not just the stats. She pointed out Clark's humility, her willingness to uplift the legends who came before her. In a league where some players act like they invented the crossover, Clark's respect for the game's history stood out. Lisa highlighted that loudly. She said, in so many words, are you all even paying attention? Because while some are busy complaining about camera time, Caitlin is out here giving flowers to the pioneers.
And she's a competitor. She's a trash talker. She makes players around her better. She's exciting to watch. And quite frankly, I've missed seeing her. Being at Unrivaled, I wish that she was there. Like, I've missed seeing her play. So I really look forward to seeing her back out there. But as I do all of the WNBA players, like, we are really watching a very exciting level of basketball.
But let's talk about the real moment, the pivot that made jaws drop. Leslie didn't just defend from the sidelines, she took it to Reese herself, sitting down with Angel Reese on her podcast in a setting where Angel had full control of the mic and the edit button. Lisa Leslie went full truth teller mode, and what did she do? She looked Reese dead in the eye and called out her biggest weakness, those bricked layups.
The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period. Like, we're going to fix that. Yeah. That's fixable for you. And I think that's probably the biggest. I think your shot from the outside is improving. I love that your ball handling is good. Your defense is improving.
Let's pause and appreciate the situation. You invite a legend onto your show. You expect some legacy talk, maybe a few laughs, a girl power vibe. Instead, you get your finishing issues aired out like laundry in front of thousands of listeners. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't petty, it was real. And honestly, it was the kind of coaching moment Reese might not get anywhere else.
Hoops game where she literally needs to put up like 300 shots a day. And I'm not kidding. Like 200 or 300 shots a day, and that's missed layups. She's 6'3" or 6'4", can't hit a layup to save her life. And literal videos have went mega viral of just her missing layups in game.
Lisa didn't drag Reese, she taught her, and that's what makes her such a force. She didn't embarrass Angel, she elevated her by telling the truth, the same way a Hall of Famer would pull a struggling rookie aside and say, you've got the tools, but your fundamentals need work. If Angel's smart, she'll take it as a gift.
You got to go out there and prove yourself. And listen, are we going to get upset about 5, 6, 10 games less on television or not? I don't think we should. We have access to find these games now in a way that we never had before. And we have to appreciate that, and all these platforms that support the W.
What Lisa understands better than maybe anyone in the league is that everyone wins when the stars rise, and Caitlin Clark, she's not just rising, she's skyrocketing. Leslie reminded everyone that Clark's visibility isn't a threat to veterans, it's a rising tide. More eyeballs on the league means more money, more coverage, more seats filled, and more importantly, it means a future where newcomers and veterans both get paid what they deserve. Leslie even tackled the drama around Clark's TV time head on.
Stephen A. Smith had a very interesting discourse with Fee recently over the number of games the Fever broadcasted this season compared to other teams who have also got stars on them. So curious what you make of W's decision to lean into highlighting its stars.
While players like Reese and others complain about how many national games Clark's team gets, Leslie broke it down like a professor. When one of us eats, we all eat, she said. In other words, you're mad about TV slots, you should be thanking her for the audience boost.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect, called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games?
Remember when some players and even ESPN discredited Caitlin Clark's college success at Iowa just because she didn't win a national championship?
I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players in your opinion?
Ooh, that's tough because you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine, so it's hard.
Well, guess what? Lisa Leslie clapped back on that too. Curious if you think winning an NCAA championship is needed for that eventual GOAT conversation, greatest of all time status. Absolutely not. I didn't win an NCAA championship. I was National Player of the Year. I won all of the individual awards, but sometimes it's very hard to win a national championship regardless of how much people talk about it, like, oh, you have to have it. It is one of the hardest things to do in a tournament where you have so many games and you're trying to get there. So yes, shout out to all of the players who were able to win national championships, but it doesn't make a player who didn't win a national championship any less of an amazing individual player in the possibility of being the talks of being a GOAT for sure.
I think winning an NCAA championship is needed for that eventual GOAT conversation, greatest of all time status.
Absolutely not. I didn't win an NCAA championship. I was National Player of the Year. I won all of the individual awards. But sometimes, it's very hard to win a national championship, regardless of how much people talk about it, like, oh, you have to have it. It is one of the hardest things to do in a tournament where you have so many games and you're trying to get there. So, yeah, shout out to all of the players who were able to win national championships. But it doesn't make a player who didn't win a national championship any less of an amazing individual player and the possibility of being the talks of being a GOAT. For sure.
So what did we witness? Not just a defense of Caitlin Clark, not just a critique of Angel Reese, but a moment where one of the game's all-time greats reminded everyone how leadership actually works. You lift, you correct, and most importantly, you tell the truth even when it's uncomfortable, even if it's on someone else's mic, because at the end of the day, Lisa Leslie isn't here to play favorites, she's here to make the game better. And Caitlin Clark, she's proving every day that she's more than just a media sensation. She's the future Lisa Leslie has been waiting for.
Hey, listen, Caitlin, I am so thankful for her. I'm thankful for all of these women and where this game is. And we have to step back and see the big picture and how it's impacting all of us.
You'd think a player would dream of basking and nothing but praise from a Hall of Famer, but instead of a standing ovation, Angel Reese got something far more valuable, a reality check from Lisa Leslie, and not just any critique, but a straight-up masterclass on layups. Yes, layups, one of the first skills you learn in youth basketball. For someone who brands herself the Bayou Barbie, Reese might need to add layup lab rat to her Instagram bio.